Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the garage. So, I had a little incident that happened to me. I got the car, back on the ground. I had washed it. I took it out for a meet. Had some fun. That night was no incident. Bring it back to the garage, park it like normal. And on Monday, I decided to take it to work. So I took it to work. I'm driving. And I hear it clunk, clunk, clunk. I'm like, what the fuck? But the car is low. No interior in the back. So I disregarded it as a rock or something. And then I'm coming down. I'm slowing down and I'm going to a turn. Coming out of that turn. And I'm going slow. 15, 20 miles an hour. And then I feel the car go. Yes. Steering wheel starts shaking left and right. And if it's wobbly, I immediately pull over. I do not want to cause any serious damage if I keep, I immediately pull over. Anybody should immediately pull over when that happens. Any of you would. So I pull over, and the front right wheel seems a little cambered out more than the left. I look under the car, everything looks connected. The only thing I can't see was the upper control arm, so I'm thinking, okay, something may have come loose there. I get it. It was a crappy morning so I called work, time I'm going to be late. And then I called AAA. They send a tow truck out there, and they send a regular tow truck that hooks to your car and lifts up the front. Well, that's not going to work because besides the car being very low, it's got a K20 swap, and that oil pan hits their little grabber thing, or whatever it's called. I don't know. So the guy leaves. He says, "Hey, we're gonna send a flatbed out here. This just not gonna work." So I'm like, "Yeah, I think so too. They should have sent one in the beginning." I told her that AAA was a suspension deal. Do you see me a little crooked there? Because that was kind of bothering me. So I waited about another hour and a half. A tow truck gets there, and we get a flatbed tow truck gets there. We get it loaded up, and we're driving home. And luckily my drive was kind of steep, so it's always easy for them to back in, and then just drop it right into the garage. Boop. They don't got to use their wooden ramps or anything. But if we're backing it out, the front right wheel starts to cave in. Luckily we're going slow and we're watching everything, so we see it. I stop it. I get the floor jack. I jack it up, straighten it back up, roll it back again slowly. Do that a few times until it's finally in here. I jack it up, and sure enough, the bolt that connects to the spindle for the upper control arm came loose, which means the nuts is not there, and the brass bushing is not there either. So I'm like, son of a bitch. Doesn't look like nothing broke. But I'm going to tell you one thing though. PCI, Brian at PCI, he's a real stand-up guy. At the company, they're great. I called them yesterday as soon as this happened, and they could have easily have said, "Hey, we think it was an issue on your parts. That's your fuck up. Fuck you by another one." They could have skunk-tooed me, right? So they didn't. The guy, he was explaining, what's common failure. A lot of times it was over travel and this and that, but in the end, I wasn't really being felt like I was the bad guy. So he verified my purchase. He got my name, my address, and he sent me out no hardware. So he sent me out no hardware. You can see not just one side, but both sides. I got a spare if I ever have issues, and that's pretty awesome. The only thing that I really need is going to be the nuts, a washer, and one of these brass bushings. So I got like 1.5. Oh, so I'm going to need this nuts, washer, and one of these brass bushings. So I got like 1.5 sets that I'll probably stay in my toolbox when this goes to the track. Excuse me, but I have a phone call. Alright, that was my gardener. I wasn't sure. I called him earlier because I saw that he showed up. I wasn't sure if he had access to the rear. So this was yesterday morning when I called him. I got home today and this was on my front doorstep. That is what I call customer service right there. I mean, damn, that's I'm pretty impressed. I couldn't have, you know, it's so I'm very happy with that. So today I'm gonna be putting it together. Another thing I want to be doing today, I bought this rubber hose. I'm going to use it as a grommet for the shift cable. I want to slice it down the middle and then put it along the cutout of the firewall and glue it. Because even though I have the K-tuned grommet thing, that's on the inside. Where I cut through, it's like a double wall. So on the engine side firewall of the sheet metal, it's kind of rubbing. So I'm going to cut this, slice it, and glue it. Another thing I'm going to do today is install this heat wrap around the shifter cables. Just so, I mean, these are $400 race cables, $350, $400 race cables from K20 that I don't want to get damaged. And lastly, I am a two-way supporter. If you're not a two-way supporter, that's fine. You know, I'm friends with many people with many interests. You know, as long as we can have a respectable dialogue, if you want to talk about it, we can. There's some people who just think I'm a horrible person for being a 2A guy, you know, a Second Amendment guy, someone who's into firearms, you know, shooting sports, and I mean, so I am a 2A guy. I'm a supporter. So I'm going to be putting my sticker in the back of this car because, you know, I don't remember. Well, let's to hide. You know, and so anyways, so today that's what I want to do. Do a little work on the car, get this back on the ground. I did adjust the front suspension to go a little higher. It was a little bit low, but yeah, let me show you where that shifter cable is kind of hitting. So I don't know how I want to do it, but I'll have to figure it out. So that's on the agenda, and I got like a net to just hold it for now. But this is where it came apart right here. Right now I'm gonna get to work and get that arm back together. So you can see right there where, so that bushing here had fallen when this nut came loose. I needed this nut, washer, and that bushing. So now that it's on there, I'm going to check the other side, and so I got the washer in the right spot, bushings there, and I did check the torque like crazy yesterday, but I'm going to check it again because you can never check enough. It's going to be 17 on top and bottom. That's on there. Time to go through everything again for the third time since yesterday. Alexa, pause. So I've touched the fork, so that's tight. This is tight and is staked. Cotter pin on the lower ball joint. Brake lines are good. I haven't had any brake issues, and I checked them all again. I'm inspecting for any leaks. I did already go through the bolts here, make sure caliper bolts are good. Check it again though. That's good. I've already checked the tightness of the camber adjustment on the PCI stuff. Upper bolts are tight. Check those. Steering rod or tie rod is tight, and there's a cotter pin. I have not touched sway bar stuff. So everything over here is legitness. Do the same thing for the other side. So that's what I want to do for all four corners. Re-inspect the hell out of this, because when I'm driving, I want the peace of mind of knowing that there's no missed bolt. So, hola cabrón, let's go. Suspension is all tightened up. I went through it all. I checked everything. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go and try to protect that shifter cable a little bit. I was hoping to put some of that rubber on the engine bay side of it, but it's so tight down there. That's what she said. But it's so tight down there that I'm going to have to work on it from the back side. Again, no, she didn't say that because that would be like a... So I'm going to get from the interior, I'm going to remove that K20 grommet and see if I can position it better to protect that cable. Or maybe I can put that grommet from the inside. I kind of like reach in there. Maybe I can get my fingers in there. We'll find out. But right now it's bootleg Corona time. I say bootleg Corona because it tastes just like Corona, but it's cheaper and it's really good. Break time. Okay, so unfortunately this is just not big enough for even one of the shifter cables to go through. I could slice it open, but and then kind of tie to that, but I'd rather just buy a bigger one. So I'm not gonna use this today. Kind of sucks. Alexa, pause. All right, so I cut a piece of tubing here, and I'm not gonna be able to reach it from the engine bay side. It's just too tight. So I'm gonna try to get it from the inside. See if I can kind of put that in the middle, so it doesn't rub on my lines, and that should take care of that. And I can just run a heat shield later on. So. Fuck. Alexa, pause. Alright, so I got this back. It's gonna be hard to see. But I installed the grommet back. Behind that grommet, I also put some protection over the cable and on the firewall, so I should have no cuts. I need to tighten this back up. And put this down and tighten this up real quick. Okay, we're installed. By the way, check out, I installed the ASR dog bone and my heavy knob so I can get a closer reach to the steering wheel. So we'll try that up for a bit. You're gonna see right here, hopefully, where it's hard to see darkness, but you can see where there's space between the firewall and the cables. There's rubber around the cables. There's protection, so we're good. So just gotta clean this up. There is one important thing I have to do, and that's throw on the first sticker. Where should I put it? I'll put it right here on the stupid. Let's see. Yeah. Alright. To clean up, to quadruple check everything, and to bring back down the ground. Look at that, sitting pretty. I raised the front a little bit, not too much, just enough to make it not much of a pain in the dick. Alright. Alright. I don't know about you guys, but that looks to be sitting pretty good. So I don't anticipate any issues. I went through everything. So time to crank her up and enjoy her. Thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thanks for sticking around, and I hope you guys like it. Hit that like button, share it, subscribe, you know, throw some comments, you know, and let me know what you think. If you had any screw ups done yourself, I'm sure you have. Because if you work on cars and you're working on it enough, eventually you're gonna screw up, and this was a screw up for sure. See you guys later, and enjoy your day.